In the early 1980s, Apple wasn't the most powerful tech company in the world. In fact, it wasn't even close. There was another company, one you've probably never heard of, that looked like it was about to dominate the future of computing. It wasn't IBM. It wasn't Microsoft. It was Osborne Computer, and a single announcement destroyed it. What makes this story remarkable is that Steve Jobs saw this collapse happen in real time and quietly used that lesson to turn Apple into one of the most valuable companies in history. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, computers were stationary machines. They sat on desks, they stayed in offices, and they rarely moved. Apple and IBM were competing fiercely for control of this desktop world. Each believed the future of computing would remain tied to homes, offices, and institutions. But one man had a very different idea. In 1981, Adam Osborne founded Osborne Computer Corporation with a radical belief. Computers shouldn't stay in one place. They should travel with you. This idea led to the creation of the Osborne 1, widely considered the world's first commercially successful portable computer. By modern standards, it was almost laughable. It weighed over 20 pounds, had a tiny 5-inch screen, ran slowly, and was extremely expensive. But none of that mattered, because it solved a problem no other computer could. You could carry it. For journalists, engineers, consultants, and business travelers, the Osborne 1 was revolutionary. It didn't need to be perfect. It just needed to exist. And because there was no competition, it sold incredibly well. Osborne wasn't just competing with Apple anymore. It was creating an entirely new category, portable computing. And for a brief moment, Osborne Computer looked like the future. Osborne Computer grew at an astonishing pace. By 1983, the company was reportedly generating over $100 million in annual revenue, an enormous number for a young tech company at the time. Apple was still fighting for relevance. IBM looked slow and conservative. Osborne looked unstoppable. But then came one decision that changed everything. At a press event, Adam Osborne proudly announced the next generation of the Osborne computer. It would be faster, lighter, more powerful. The audience loved it. There was only one problem. The new computer wasn't ready, not even close. And the moment those words were spoken, Osborne Computer sealed its fate. Customers immediately stopped buying the Osborne 1. Why purchase an expensive machine that was already outdated when something better was coming soon? Sales collapsed almost overnight. Warehouses filled with unsold inventory. Cash flow disappeared. Retailers canceled orders. Distributors walked away. Osborne Computer was still spending money, but no longer making any. Within months, the company went from industry leader to financial disaster. 6 months after the announcement, Osborne Computer declared bankruptcy. The industry gave this phenomenon a name, the Osborne effect, announcing a future product too early and destroying demand for the current one. Apple and IBM had watched this entire collapse unfold. One person, in particular, never forgot it. Steve Jobs understood that Osborne's failure wasn't about innovation. It was about timing. Years later, when Apple prepared to launch the Macintosh, Jobs did the opposite of Adam Osborne. He said nothing. No early announcements. No previews. No leaks. Customers had no reason to stop buying Apple's existing computers. In 1984, Apple unveiled the Macintosh. It was ready. It was available immediately, and it stunned the world. Demand exploded. Where Osborne collapsed, Apple thrived. The story of Osborne Computer isn't about failure. It's about timing. The best product in the world means nothing if no one buys it when you need them to. Steve Jobs learned that lesson the hard way by watching a rival disappear. And that lesson helped shape Apple into the company it is today. Because in technology and in business, timing isn't everything. It's the only thing.